Digital Flight Dynamics have appeared for the first time in a year with an extensive update on their work in progress freeware Airbus A350, and Aerosoft have released their first trailer for the upcoming payware Airbus A330 CO. It's Brandon here from the Pilot Stud channel. No waffle, just news, so let's get right into it. Digital Flight Dynamics have been working on a freeware Airbus A350 for quite some time now. Over the last year or so, development has evidently continued, but with a bit of radio silence, quite a bit I should say, a lot of people got quite worried about whether this project was still alive or not. Now, as of yesterday, it is very clear that the team have been hard at work, using their free time to work on this freeware long hauler. How do we know this? Well, a year after the last video update was released, the Digital Flight Dynamics team have released episode 3 of their Discover 350 series, which is designed to highlight the progress on this project and bring us as much information as they're willing to share. Now, to bring you the highlights, if you're short of time, before I go into greater detail, I will just say there is still a long way to go with this project, and we have no set time frame. It is freeware after all. The ever-growing team of volunteer developers have been busy with development, of course, and indeed with the video we're all looking at. Now, this video shows progress on the 3D modelling of both the interior and exterior, including the cockpit and cabin, as well as extensive progress on the systems inside, from the ECAM display to the OIS, which stands for Onboard Information System, which is a feature only really seen on newer Airbuses, as well as the MFD multifunction display. Quite nicely here, we received confirmation that they are working with FlyByWire on the A350, as some Airbus systems which are being worked on by FlyByWire are transferable, so as soon as they're released by FlyByWire, they'll be quite nicely slotted into the A350, or at least that is the hope. Now, the best place to get all the information available is from the 30-minute or so video itself, but of course, to save you all time, I'll summarise it here for you all. Now, the team aspire to have the A350 up to a, quote, high fidelity standard, and as this video shows, there's still a long way to go. Now, the modelling in the cockpit has seen some significant progress since this time last year, and they do share some comparisons which I'm sharing with you on the screen. And while I would say the progress is very clear, there's still a long way to go, and of course no textures just yet, which will be the deal breaker for many. Now, moving back from the cockpit to the cabin, while it is not a necessity in any aircraft, it's always nice to have one, and I have to say this one is looking smashing. There's not much more to say here apart from the cabin is looking great, even in its early stages. Now, jumping outside, the Digital Flight Dynamics 350 team show various components in the rendering software. Note, not the simulator, I believe this is in Blender. We see quite a bit from the engines to the nose to the landing gears. Admittedly, it is all looking very nice, but as with modelling in general, we really need some textures on it before we can come to any conclusions, because it all looks very smooth, and we're not getting too close up where we can see any rivets or anything like that that really brings out an aircraft's model. Now we go back into the cockpit to see what I think is the highlight of this video. Developers Mike and Viper preview some of the cockpit systems. Now, I'll say it again, I'll say it 1,000 times, quite clearly it is still work in progress, which is to be expected as it is freeware, and there's no rush here. Also note in the back of your mind that the A350 is notoriously difficult to collect data for, as it's still a relatively new airliner in real life, and a lot of the systems are closely guarded by Airbus. I do think the real highlight here, at least in my personal opinion, is seeing the onboard information system, which has many of the features you'll be used to seeing in an EFB, electronic flight bag, just in this case directly integrated into the aircraft. It's Airbus once again showing off. As well as with the ECAM display, which is located in the centre of the cockpit, we also see the fact that the various information pages are working already, which is very nice to see. While I don't believe everything we see is actually interacting with data from the simulator, some of it will be placeholders, it is very refreshing to see system progress, as this is always the most difficult bit. All in all, I wish them continued good luck. It is not easy developing an aircraft. I definitely could not do it, especially with an airliner such as the 350, where a lot of the real world details are sparse, but they seem to be getting on well. It's good to hear this project is still in development and hasn't quietly died in the back of the room. Thanks for your effort, guys. I look forward to seeing more of your project. Unlike some on the internet, I'm not going to offer any sort of release date because I've got absolutely no idea, so I can't say anything more than that. Now, from a freeware project that does seem quite a while away to a payware one that looks set for release shortly. And we know that from FS Expo. The Aerosoft team stated there that they are aiming for a summer release of their Airbus A330-300 or Airbus A330CO, depending on what name takes your fancy. Now, in collaboration with Aviation Lads and in true Aviation Lads fashion, a cinematic trailer has been released showcasing this upcoming airliner for Microsoft Flight Sim on PC and Xbox, and as I said, it will be payware. Now, impartiality aside, I would be lying to you all if I were to say that I'm excited for this. In all honesty, another Airbus does not really excite me. We've had plenty for the Sim so far. However, one thing is for sure, this will definitely fill a gap on the Xbox market. I can't really say the same for PC because we've already got a freeware A330, but of course the Aerosoft for A330 will be leaps and bounds above that one. From the trailer, while the modelling looks pretty good, there is a distinct lack of wing flex as we look out the window, and we do only get fleeting looks inside the cockpit, which may say something, it may not say something, it might just be a creative choice, but I would like to see more of the cockpit myself. And on top of that, I think when we see close to the wheels, I think there's a lack of textures there, but that is just me being picky. It is great to see the Aerosoft team continue to work on the Airbus A330. I probably won't be trying it out for myself as soon as it is released because I use the Headwind A330, which is free, but to be honest with you, payware and freeware can seldom be compared, and of course this is definitely going to be better than one that is based off the FlyByWire A320, so I'm sure for many it will be of interest. Do let me know your thoughts down below. As always, I really like hearing them. As long as it's civil discussion, I'm very open to having civil debate down there. There's your Airbus episode for you all today. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. It means so much to have you all with me here today. I'll see you all around. Have a good one. Bye bye.